Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today on this new session with Gessi Webinar. Gessi Webinar series serves as a platform for the Gessi Network members to share experience and expertise in the syntheses and to learn about potential collaborations. So for today's session, just to remind you that if you have any questions, please use the raise your hand button, which is on the toolbar under your microphone. And you can also send us your questions using the tab on the right. You can send your question to us and we'll reply to you. Okay? Today's session is about Africa Check with Anim van Wyk. So it's about fact checking. We hope you're excited about the session. To start with, I'll introduce Anim. Anim joined Africa Check, the continent's first independent fact-checking organization, as deputy editor in July 2014 and was named editor on 1st October 2015. Previously, she edited an award-winning national supplement in South Africa's Afrikaans daily newspapers and has also worked as a newspaper reporter, magazine writer, and television producer. In 2016, she completed a master's degree in media management at Stellenbosch University with a thesis titled in the Global South, Facts about Non-Profit Journalism Funding Models. Check the prize for best student. Anna, to you.
Let's see, can you see the screen?
Sorry on that, 2 seconds.
Okay, is my screen visible? Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, or at least this afternoon in South Africa. I am eager and pleased to speak to you about Africa Check. As you can see on the screen, we're the first independent fact-checking organization on the continent. But we're not the only one in the world. Just last week, they've released a new census of fact-checking organizations, and since 2014, when it's been when the Duke Reporters Lab started counting fact-checking organizations such as ourselves, it's more than tripled around the world. So it's now 149 different active fact-checking organizations in 53 different countries. So we are based in South Africa, or that's where our biggest office is, but we also have an office in Senegal, in Nigeria, and in Kenya. And from these major countries, we try to do we try to cover as much of the continent as we possibly can. So always people ask about our funding. We're a non-profit organization, so we rely greatly on large foundations and philanthropic trusts and the like. So you can just see from the slide I've shared with you how our sources of income looked like in 2017. Since then, or I think it's only kicking in 2018, is a larger grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, with which we'll step up health fact-checking in Nigeria. So that is something that we're very excited about. It's long overdue. So let me go on. So we have twin goals. In the first instance, we want to keep public figures accountable so that they know that somebody out there is listening, making notes, and double checking that what they've said was true. But we also, and especially in our context and on the continent, we can't do all the work ourselves. We need an army of fact checkers out there, and we need media houses and our fellow journalists to be better at fact checking. So we do so by providing fact sheets, guides, And soon enough, we'll have a completely revamped info finder. And some of you may have been contacted by our impact manager to assist in getting the best and most accurate information at the fingertips of media houses around the continent. So our fact-checking reports that we publish nearly daily, you can see that we did a report just today on the practice of female genital mutilation. Last week, we were very busy with this State of the Nation address in South Africa and the subsequent debates on the State of the Nation address. So those, yeah, were quite lengthy reports. I talked about the fact sheets. This poverty in South Africa and the share between races and population groups are always widely discussed. So that one, the top one that you see will surely yeah, be cited for some time to come. Then we also have our guides, and I'm sure that you, as academics or scientists, would enjoy the one about the predatory academic journals. It's certainly helped me a lot in trying to spot dodgy journals in the wild. Let's go on. Sorry. How do I get to the next slide?
Do you want to try to click on the screen then?
Yeah, okay, there I go. Okay, so, and then this is just a sneak peek of our new Info Finder tool that will be launched in April. So yeah, we'd really like to bring together the best sources on those topics that you see, and make it available to yeah, well, actually mainly to journalists, but also students, politicians, anybody that needs to cite facts with confidence. Um, so yes, we're this hybrid creature. So we're journalists, but we're also researchers. We delve really deep into scientific papers, confidence intervals, multiple indicator cluster surveys. We really try to unearth the best evidence there are on a certain topic. We distribute it then once we've covered all the bases. We write it up, hopefully in an accessible and easy to read style, so that the lay public can understand the topic, what's involved with it, and also but get a nuanced understanding of the limitations of the data, because with anything, I mean, the findings are just as reliable as our tools were in determining them. So we write it up and then we publish it. We distribute it via our Twitter account in the top left. We also have a big Facebook page, top bottom left. We have, I think it's now 3 weekly radio shows or radio appearances, and then also a slot in South Africa on ENCA. It's one of the channels where we talk about our work. Bottom right is Power Talk with Iman Rapetti, where we get half an hour on Thursdays to talk about the reports from the week. And then top right, in the red box, you'll see some of our reports that have been republished by News 24. It's one of the biggest news websites in South Africa. We've just reached an agreement that they would exclusively republish our work. So it's really helped us in getting our work out there and getting it visible. So let's just see. So Our research process, very much condensed, is step one is always to go to the person or organization that made the claim and ask them for the evidence, or ask them on what they base that claim. So in the case of a politician, we call their spokesman. In the case of an organization, we call their PR company. It's sometimes, yeah, it's quite a lengthy process to get hold of the right people and get them to respond. If they do, um, we use the evidence that they've given us, and we try to interrogate it and see if it matches up. But in parallel, and while we're waiting for them to respond, we also start sourcing the best data sources, the best databases, the best compilations of information to see whether what was said holds up. And then, yeah, as you see, we make use of experts quite extensively. I've sent out an email earlier this year to recruit you guys because we don't interpret anything by ourselves. We use people working in the field, people with years and years and years of expertise on the topic to explain to us how to read the data, what the limitations are, and what what the level of accuracy of a certain claim is. We have to have stamina and persistence. As I said, governments, with the communicators can be quite stubborn. Um, and then finally, once we've published, we have to also know that we can't, you won't convince everybody, but at least if our data is solid, if we've written a report that captures all the different aspects and ways by which to look at a claim, then we know we've done our work. So, some of our successes, I'll refer you first to this health policy and planning academic article. You'll see on the right that my colleague Kate Wilkinson was quote or cited in it. And it's this idea that 80% of Africans or South Africans or Black South Africans or I've seen that some people have said that 80% of Asians use traditional healers as their first point of medical contact. And it actually, well, my colleague traced it back to a 1983 World Health Organization book that cited this claim, but provided no evidence for it. So it's since snowballed and yeah, into this widely accepted claim. But in South Africa, at least, according to our general household survey, fewer than 1% of South Africans would use traditional healers as their first point of contact when somebody falls ill or gets injured. And in Ghana, a similar study found that it's 1.5%. So yeah, it just goes to show how we call it zombie claims, how something can live on and take on a life of its own. And no matter how many times you try to kill it off, it just resurrects and yeah, come back from the dead. So then the tweets bottom right from Dr. Ayo Ajayi. He was the head of the Gates Foundation in Africa. So we also fact check our donors to make sure that we protect our non-partisanship and our neutrality. Because people, yeah, are fond of accusing us of just towing the line of our donors, whichever one they seem to think holds the most sway. Um, the one the tweet referred to this report that we did. He had tweeted that an African child dies of malaria every 30 seconds. But luckily, that was outdated, and well, I mean, there's still so much to be done, but the frequency has declined, or the number of cases have declined. Then top right, we fact checked the one group, and about a report they did on where girls find it toughest to get an education. But they kind of made this mishmash of, or patchwork as we called it, of two different data sources, filling in gaps in the one with data from the other, but they weren't comparable, because the one data source looked at all women older than 25, and the other looked at women 20 to 24 years of age. So yeah, we use that we teased it out, and then we had actually like a great response in that. The blog, they wrote a response, and they said that yeah, we do need better education data, and Africa Check has shown that has shown the limitations of this, of the available sources. So that was a great response, and they've also said that they would like to work with us in future to make sure that the advocacy content they put out is accurate. So yeah, this is just a little gif that we've made ahead of the State of the Nation, the debate on the State of the Nation address in South Africa. Because we spread the net wide, and we fact checked almost we fact checked all the political parties that took part in it, and handed out our verdicts left and right. That we got good feedback on that, and then just I would like to encourage you to take our calls and to assist us, as I said, and um, when we need expert comment for somebody to help us contextualize a claim, to point out good data sources, to lead us away from the bad ones, and just help us speak for the evidence. If some of you were at the Global Evidence Summit last year, where I spoke with Trish Greenall and Caroline, what's her name again, from Marsh Science. The message was we scientists can do better studies and more well-designed ones and get more evidence out there, but the evidence won't speak for itself. It needs a voice. It needs to be spoken for, and I believe AfricaCheck is a very important vehicle to help bridge the gap between academia or research institutes and the public. So I see Lawrence is here. He's written for us a blog at the launch of the African Center for Evidence. So that was very helpful to explain to people what the African Center for Evidence is, and why it came about, and what they intend to achieve. So I believe it's going to be a great partnership between ourselves and ACE. And then one of the other NSC members is Cochrane in South Africa. So we've also helped, it's been very fruitful to make use of their systematic reviews, to call on them to get expert comment on a wide variety of topics. So I hope if I present in future, I can show some of your names, show some of your organization that assisted us in speaking for the evidence. You'll find my email address and my phone number. That's the phone number. And you're welcome to if I didn't get to your answers now, to contact me, and please do follow us on Twitter and on Facebook, and give us some feedback. That's me.
Thank you so much, Anna. This was a lovely presentation. So before we start taking any questions, let me ask you, how do you feel about all the work that you've been able to do with that picture?
How do I feel? Exhausted. um, Yeah, it's very satisfying, I must say. Yeah, when you were introducing me, you saw that I worked for a newspaper and for other media houses, and I didn't feel like I had such that I have now when people, the kind of feedback that we get from people, where they say that, um, wow, I really found this useful, I understand this now better. We when I see them debate on Twitter, when they use our reports and talk about them, that's amazing, a real life impact, and yeah, to make a positive contribution, to make a change, and also to help set the record straight. Things that are can have concept. It's very satisfying. Maybe that's my final answer. Satisfaction.
Okay. So thank you for sharing that. So can you hear me good? Can you hear me well? Annie?
Sorry, can you just
Can
say
you hear me
again?
well?
I can hear you now. Thanks.
Yes, great. So we have the first question from Carrie Albright. Do you work with fact-checking organizations in other regions to share lessons and exchange information?
Yeah, definitely. So we're part of the International Fact-Checking Network, and you would find among members all the famous ones like the Washington Post and PolitiFact and Pagella Politica and Chequeado in Argentina. And every year we get together at our International Fact-Checking Summit, and we exchange best practices and learn from each other. But we've also started an African fact-checking network, or at least an informal one that had its first meeting in November last year in Johannesburg, and 10 such organizations came together. And the idea is for us to also to share best practice and lessons, and for Africa Check to share our experience, and to guide and mentor people that to follow this road that we've been on for some time now, because that the context on the continent where topics aren't always well researched, government statistical offices are under resourced, and their publications are infrequent. It's important that we foster a better fact checking and help other organizations such as ourselves. That said, one of the organizations that attended our meeting is called ZimFact, and they will be starting operations very soon in Zimbabwe. And then we also one premium times in Nigeria. They've also started a fact checking unit. So we'll be, we're very keen to maybe, later on start a formal African fact checking network, so that we can ingrain this practice.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So that's a lot of work, huh?
Yeah,
So
yes.
would anyone else like to ask Anna any question? Okay, so Anna, I have a question for you. What was the most fun thing during your work so far?
Um, we try to, although we take our work very seriously, we jump at the opportunity to do fun fact checks. So, one of it was actually one of our best read reports ever, or certainly in that year, was when people claimed that mermaids were captured in the South African president's pool at Nkandla, that they were killed and taken to a research facility, and reports even had comment from his spokesman, and but the pictures were props from Pirates of the Caribbean. So I traced it to the museum and I wrote a report, just in the matter of a couple of hours, and it's had enduring appeal. And then also another fun one was last year, I mean, it's a very serious topic, but our deputy minister of finance in South Africa was offered a ministerial position by the infamous Gupta family, or that's what he came. Um, and according to the reports, was that he was promised 600 million rand to if he accepted, and if he uh, well, as kind of like a down payment, he could get 600,000 rand there and then if he just had a bag with him. So people were speculating on social media, how big would this bag be? And some people said it's you need a refuse bag, or you need a gym bag, or you know, various kind of sizes of bags people were speaking about. So we literally phoned the Reserve Bank to ask about the myth of a banknote in the higher denomination, but they didn't want to give it to us, citing security reasons. We literally um, we we got a stack of notes, but only 10 rand notes. We're an NGO. We measured it, and then we built our own built stacks of money. Showed that you could actually take home 600,000 rand in a just a regular carrier bag from a supermarket. So yeah, so those were fun ones. Trying to think of other ones. Yeah, we whenever there's something that presents itself, just to do something out of the ordinary, we try to do that. The reason being is that we call it a gateway drug, although I've read that gateway drugs, the it's disputed that there is such a phenomenon, but we the method by which we fact check whether it's something very light-hearted or something that's very controversial, very serious, and the method stays the same. So if we can show people, especially people that are generally skeptical of say of science or of um, academia, if we can show them how we apply fact checking and how we search for evidence in a fun way, they we can bring them on board and accept findings on topics that they may have strong views about. So yeah, so there is some method in madness. It's not only for ourselves to have fun, but also to help our work in the future.
This is a very interesting story. It's very interesting how you're able to actually take that extra step, and there's definitely not a lot of security in what you do, if I might say. I mean, it is a bit challenging, right?
Yeah, so far, I mean, I guess we've been lucky, but we haven't had physical security threats. We've had some nasty phone calls to the office, but so far, yeah, I guess, as I say, we've been lucky. We feel that transparency is our best weapon against any people that would want um, to rather to cover up certain information. But I know that lots of my journalism friends, that they aren't so lucky. We only use publicly available sources of evidence in any way, so it's not like we're sitting on some Paradise Papers leak or very confidential information, or something that somebody would want to extract from us. So in that sense, I think we're not really on the radar of such organizations.
Yeah, okay, so that's good.
Mm.
So would you like to add anything, Anna?
Um, I would no. I guess what's there to add at the moment? Yeah, I would just like you to again to support our work and to spread the message about Africa Check, to when you see some of our reports, to share it with friends and family, because the problem with fake news is that those reports go viral and they spread so far that the correction can almost never catch up. So yeah, just please support us, whether it's directly by providing comment or indirectly by helping spread the facts and spreading the message.
Great. So thank you very much, Anim. This was a wonderful presentation, and please everyone, as per Anim's request, let's make sure to spread the word about Africa Check and fact-checking in general, to make sure that we try to catch up with wrong information. Thank you so much, Anim.
Thank you for having me, and all the best with all your important work in speaking of the evidence.
Well, there is also a new message actually from Carrie that says, you'll be pleased to know that we promote the use of Africa Check in our UNICEF research management training. I think that's amazing.
Oh, lovely. Yay, thank you.
So thank you, Carrie, for joining us today and for letting us know.
Yeah, cool. We'll be in touch. Thanks.
Great. So thanks, Anna. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.